What if survival itself was the biggest win? Not the kind that gets applause, but the kind that happens in silence, when no one's watching, when the world feels too heavy, and you choose to breathe anyway. What if getting out of bed this morning wasn't ordinary, but extraordinary? What if every small thing you dismiss as just getting by is actually you refusing to let the darkness win? We live in a world obsessed with grand victories. The promotion, the relationship, the transformation, the moment everyone notices and says, "Look what they achieved." But what about the moments no one sees? The shower you took when depression whispered, "Stay dirty." The text you sent when isolation screamed, "Stay hidden." The bed you made when chaos demanded, "Give up." These aren't just actions. They're acts of defiance, quiet revolution, evidence that something inside you refuses to surrender. Have you ever been there, in that space between wanting to quit and choosing to continue? Where survival doesn't feel heroic, it feels exhausting. Where strength doesn't roar, it whispers, "Try again tomorrow." That's not weakness talking. That's the most powerful force in the universe. The human spirit that says, "Not today," to every reason to give up. This isn't about toxic positivity. This isn't about pretending pain doesn't exist. This is about recognizing that, in a world designed to break you, your persistence is rebellion, your survival is victory, your small wins are everything. Let's begin. Because the biggest battles aren't fought on grand stages. They're fought in ordinary moments, by ordinary people, doing ordinary things with extraordinary courage. When the world forgets to celebrate you, the alarm screams at 7 a.m. like it's personally offended by your existence. And for a moment, maybe longer, you consider the snooze button your closest ally. Not because you're lazy, but because facing another day feels like climbing Everest in flops. This is where the frame begins. Not with your failure to be perfect, but with the world's failure. To recognize what perfect looks like when you're fighting just to exist. Society has trained us to measure worth in metrics. Salary figures, follower counts, relationship status, productivity scores. But they never taught us to measure the victory of answering your phone when anxiety makes your voice shake, of making call when your hands tremble with exhaustion, of choosing to eat something, anything, when your appetite disappeared with your hope. The frame we live inside is rigged against the quiet brave. It celebrates the loud wins and ignores the daily resurrections. Your phone buzzes, another rejection email. We regret to inform you, and the world moves on, never knowing that you read it, felt the familiar punch in your gut, and instead of spiraling for 3 hours, you closed the laptop and made yourself tea. That's not getting by, that's getting through. And getting through is the most underrated superpower on the planet. Look around you, bills on the counter, unopened, because sometimes not knowing feels safer than drowning. Laundry in the basket, clean but unfolded, because you had energy for washing, not for perfection. Text messages from friends, some answered, some waiting, because connection requires energy, you're still rationing. This isn't the failure they warned you about in school. This is life, raw, unfiltered, unglamorous life. And the fact that you're still here, still trying, still breathing, that's not the consolation prize. That's the grand prize. The frame tells you you're falling behind. But what if you're exactly where you need to be? What if your pace isn't slow, it's sustainable? What if your struggle isn't weakness? It's the weight training that's building the strongest version of you. The world celebrates the sprinters, but life is a marathon, and marathon winners know something sprinters don't. It's not about the speed. It's about the refusal to stop, the revolution of recognizing small. Here's what they don't teach you about healing. It doesn't arrive like lightning. It seeps in like sunlight, slowly, one small choice at a time. Making your bed isn't housekeeping. It's you saying to the universe, "I'll be back tonight. And when I am, I want to be welcomed by evidence that I cared for myself." Every morning, you pull those covers tight. You're building something sacred, routine in chaos, order in storm, hope in the ordinary. It's not about the bed. It's about the promise. The promise that you're worth coming home to. The magic hidden in hygiene, taking a shower when depression feels like quicksand. That's not basic maintenance. That's you choosing your own comfort over the voice that says, "You don't deserve to feel clean. brushing your teeth, when everything feels pointless. That's you investing in a future your brain can't quite see yet, but your body still believes in. Getting dressed when staying in pajamas forever sounds infinitely more appealing. That's you putting on armor, not for the world, for yourself. These aren't small things. These are the building blocks of self-respect, the daily votes of confidence in your own worth, the accumulated evidence that you matter. Communication as lifeline, answering that text from your friend, even just with "I'm okay," when you're decidedly not okay. That's not lying. That's you refusing to let isolation have the final word. That's you choosing connection over the comfort of hiding. That's you throwing a rope across the canyon of loneliness and trusting someone else to hold the other end. Making a phone call when your throat feels tight with anxiety. Saying good morning to your neighbor when words feel like lifting weights. Asking for help when independence has become a prison. These aren't social niceties. These are survival strategies. Evidence that you understand what every therapist knows. Healing happens in relationship, not in isolation. The profound act of nourishment, eating breakfast, when your appetite disappeared, with your last shred of hope. That's not going through the motions. That's you feeding the part of yourself that still believes in tomorrow. Drinking water when you've forgotten to care for your body. Taking vitamins when you can barely remember your own name. Cooking something, anything, instead of letting hunger punish you for existing. Food becomes medicine when you're sick with sadness, not just for your body, but for your soul. Every bite is a tiny rebellion against the voice that says, you don't deserve nourishment. The courage of continuation, going for a walk when your legs feel like lead and your motivation has flatlined. Opening the curtains when darkness feels like protection. Stepping outside when the world feels too big and you feel too small. Movement when you're stuck. Light when you're hiding. Air when you're suffocating. These aren't exercise routines. These are resurrection practices. Your body teaching your mind that forward motion is possible, even when your spirit can't quite remember how to soar. The Tuesday that changed everything. Let me tell you about Sarah. Not her real name, but her real story. Because it could be your story. It could be mine. Tuesday started like every other day that month. Alarm, snooze until 7, the familiar weight settling on her chest before her feet hit the floor. 3 weeks unemployed, savings dwindling. Confidence in the negative, the kind of tired that sleep can't fix. She had 2 choices: stay in bed and let the day happen to her, or get up and happen to the day. Neither felt appealing, both felt impossible. But impossible, she'd learned, was just another word for hard but doable. Win number 1: vertical, feet on the floor, not graceful, not enthusiastic, but vertical. Standing when lying down felt infinitely more appealing. The bathroom mirror showed her a stranger, hair pointing in directions gravity never intended, eyes carrying the weight of too many restless nights. But she looked, made eye contact with her own reflection, and didn't immediately look away. Win number 2, the ritual of becoming human. Shower. Not because she felt dirty, but because hot water felt like a hug she couldn't ask anyone else for. She stood there longer than necessary, letting the heat work its way into muscles that had forgotten how to relax. Teeth brushed, hair combed, clothes that matched. Mostly, each action a small declaration. I am worth taking care of. I deserve to feel human. I matter enough to matter to myself. The kitchen negotiation, coffee first, always coffee first. The one relationship that hadn't gotten complicated. Breakfast felt ambitious, so she negotiated. Just toast, with butter, because she was celebrating her vertical status. The mail sat on the counter, bills she couldn't quite face. But today, she opened one, just one. Not because she had the money, but because hiding wasn't making them disappear, and facing one scary thing felt more manageable than facing all scary things. Win number 3, the digital battlefield. Her phone buzzed, text from mom. How are you doing, sweetheart? The truth felt too heavy to type in a text message. So she chose a smaller truth. Having a tough time, but I'm okay today, not a lie. Not the whole truth, but a bridge between isolation and connection. Mom texted back immediately. Want to have lunch tomorrow, and instead of making excuses, instead of protecting her solitude. Sarah, yes, that sounds perfect. Win number 4. The application that almost wasn't. She'd been avoiding her laptop for 3 days. Job applications felt like volunteering for rejection. But Tuesday Sarah, vertical, clean-fed, connected Sarah, felt different than Monday Sarah. She opened the laptop, found one job posting, just one, and instead of crafting the perfect cover letter, she wrote from the heart, I'm not going to pretend I'm the obvious choice, but I'm the one who shows up, especially when showing up is hard, and I think that matters, she had said. Before she could change her mind. Win number 5, the evening inventory. By 8 p.m., Tuesday was winding down. Sarah made her bed, not because she was neat, but because she wanted to come home to evidence that she'd taken care of herself. She sat on the edge of those freshly made sheets and did something her therapist had suggested. Counted the day's victories. Got up win. Showered win. AD win. Opened scary mail win. Texted mom honestly win. Applied for job win. Made bed win. 7 wins on a Tuesday. When getting out of bed had felt impossible. The plot twist. Thursday morning, her phone rang. The job she'd applied for. They wanted an interview. But that's not the plot twist. The plot twist was this. When they called, she was already up, already showered, already ready. Not because she knew they'd call, but because Tuesday Sarah had taught Wednesday Sarah that small wins compound, that taking care of yourself isn't vanity, it's preparation. That you practice being ready, not for the days when good things happen, but so that when good things happen, you're present for them. The real victory, she got the job. But that's not the real victory. The real victory was learning that survival isn't passive, it's active. It's choosing, again and again, to show up for your own life. Even when, especially when, no one's watching. Your small wins inventory starts now. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do something radical. Not Instagram-worthy radical, soul-level radical. I want you to count your wins. The small one, the ones you dismissed, the ones that felt automatic, but weren't. Did you get out of bed? That's a win. In a world that gives you 1,000 reasons to give up, you chose to start. Did you eat something today? Win. You nourished the body that carries your dreams, even when those dreams feel impossibly far away. Did you speak to another human? Text, call, wave, smile. Any connection counts. Because in a world that profits from your isolation, every relationship is resistance. Did you do something kind for yourself? Shower, coffee, clean clothes, a moment of rest. These aren't luxuries. They're love letters to the part of you that's still fighting. The radical act of recognition. Here's what the world won't tell you. Your small wins aren't consolation prizes. They're the main event. They're proof that something in you refuses to surrender, that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances, that hope is more stubborn than despair. Every small choice to care for yourself is a vote of confidence in your own future. Every moment you choose connection is you building the bridge back to yourself. Every time you do something, that future you will thank you for. You're not just surviving, you're quietly, persistently, magnificent, winning. Tomorrow's assignment, wake up. That's win number 1. Feel your feet on the floor, and remember, you are the kind of person who gets up, even when getting up is hard. Especially then, look in the mirror, and instead of cataloging everything wrong, try this. You're still here. That's no small thing. Make yourself something to eat, even if it's just toast, because nourishing yourself is a radical act of self-love in a world that taught you to earn your own care. Reach out to someone, text, call, email, doesn't matter. Just remind the universe that you exist in relationship, not in isolation. To think that feels impossible, not because you have to, but because you can. Because you're the kind of person who does hard things, small step. At the end of the day, Count them, all of them. Your small, sacred, life-saving wins. The truth about small wins, they're not small. They never were. They're the building blocks of everything big that's ever happened to anyone. They're evidence that you're not broken. You're human. And humans, beautiful, stubborn, resilient humans, don't survive by being perfect. They survive by being persistent, one small win at a time, one breath at a time, one choice at a time, until small becomes steady, steady becomes strong, and strong becomes unstoppable. You are not falling behind. You are not failing. You are building a life, one small win at a time, and that is everything. Your small wins save you, not someday. Today, right now, in this moment, and the next, and the next. Keep counting, keep building, keep winning. The world needs proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. You are that proof. Your small wins are that proof. Your persistence is that proof. And every day you choose to show up for your own life, you're teaching someone else that they can show up for theirs. That's not small. That's infinite. That's everything.